Hi guys, my name is Karen Jernigan. My professor is Dr. McCabe. I am currently enrolled in early childhood education and special education. I'm currently taking Universal 108. And today I'm going to speak about professional depositions that you should have in the classroom. Some of the educational depositions that I possess in the classroom in order to be a successful teacher, I believe is, being having cultural differences in the classroom, learning each child's cultural background as well as the family backgrounds. That's very important to me, being of African American descent. And not only that, but, as a child growing up, I was in a classroom where everyone, looked different than me. As far as Black history, we were only taught certain things and certain things about other people's history. Growing up, going to Christian Catholic school, I think it's very important that every child knows about their background and that every child in a classroom is acceptive of each child's individual cultural background, regardless if you're Jewish, if you're, Christian, if you Buddha. So those are some of the things that are very important to me as far as depositions in the classroom. Another important deposition that I think I possess in the classroom is just setting boundaries with children, letting them know that we have a professional student-teacher relationship, being open and honest, that they can come to me about anything as long as, it's respectable. A lot of times now in the news you hear about boundaries that were crossed between teacher and students. And I think it's very important that when you enter the classroom, introduce yourself, always dress professional, always speak professional, and always have a professional relationship with students. Some of the other depositions I think that it's important to have in the classroom also is, empathy and patience, having understanding of children's feelings, being discerning of what students are going through, being able to pick up on facial expressions, body language, making sure that there's nothing going at home. As teachers, we are mandated reporters. So if a child is maybe being abused at home, it's our responsibility to look at those students and maybe see something there, and react accordingly without having them be embarrassed or having them stick out. Just pull that student aside and ask them, is everything okay? Did you eat? What did you have to eat? You can talk to me about anything. I am, advocate. I am a resource for you. I am here for you. I think those things are important. Some of the depositions that I would like to work on before entering a classroom as a first year student is, like I mentioned before, something that's very important, setting up boundaries, making sure that each relationship with the student stays professional. For example, I've had been in a classroom before where, a young student at the age of 3 was calling another teacher, his wife or his girlfriend, and how everyone thought that that was something that was, precious or cute, kind of ignored it. And, he would only deal with that teacher, and no one else could really talk to him or teach him or do activities with him. If that teacher wasn't there, he would kind of throw a tantrum. When he did see that teacher, he would, give that teacher a kiss on the cheek. I think those things are kind of inappropriate, and that students, should know that even at a very young age. I think teachers have a lot of good qualities that they possess, especially myself. One of the qualities that you have to have as a teacher is patience. Um, as being an early educator, being in a classroom with students as young as 6 weeks old, you have to have patience. Way too many times we hear stories in the news about teacher-student abuse, whether it be behavioral or whether it be sexual, and it's very, very sad. I think that you have to show empathy. You have to have that patience to deal with children. If you don't have patience, if you don't possess empathy, if you don't possess sympathy, if you don't have professionalism, if you're not a good communicator, you have to communicate with parents, you have to communicate with the students on their level in a way that they understand that teaching may not be for you. I see way too many situations where, teachers have short patience, especially with being in a room with toddlers. You have to watch how you communicate with other people's children. How you raise your children at home is something completely different than how we, teach the children in the classroom. So I think just positive behavioral reinforcement, not putting that child in timeout, and definitely not ever putting your hands on a center child. I know some parents, discipline their children at home in a way that, is hands-on at times. But I think that's totally unacceptable in a classroom setting. I have witnessed it, unfortunately, and I had to report it. So yeah, these are some of the qualities that I believe you should possess as a teacher. Some of the qualities that I have being in a classroom is, being friendly to the students, making sure that, I'm smiling when it's time to smile. One of the things that I tell my students is that there's a time for everything. There's a time to laugh. There's a time, to be serious. There's a time where all eyes should be on me when I am, giving instructions. We talk about listening ears, we talk about, all eyes on me when instruction is in place, so that I know that they have a clear understanding, even if it's something as simple as the alphabet, even if it's something as simple as, counting. A lot of people think that as an early education educator that, we are not important. So one of the qualities I possess is self-confidence, knowing that even though it's the alphabet and ABCs and cognitive skills and gross motor skills that's important, children need those abilities starting off. We are important as early childhood educators. We are their first response. We set up the tone for the future when they're going into elementary school, even in a daycare setting. Everything that we do is important. We teach them literacy skills, just reading, simple stories, like Good Night Bear or Good Night Moon or Dr. Seuss. Those are important. It may not be high school, math or algebra or geometry, but those type of skills that we give to these young students goes with them a long way. I think most students remember their kindergartner teacher, their preschool teacher. I still remember mine, and it goes a very long way. So yes, those are some of the depositions that I believe I possess in the classroom. Those are some of the depositions I believe that I want to, work on. And no one is perfect. There's times where, we get frustrated. There's times where we get overwhelmed, and it's okay. As long as we take the time to say, hey, can someone step in so I can step out? I need a moment. Long as the children don't see that, because we don't know what they go through at home. So that's a very important deposition, just being neutral in the classroom, not really showing those type of emotions. Like whatever you're going through, pretty much just leave it on the outside at the door. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and good luck to everyone, and I hope that we all make it. Bye.